Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. Today's video, we're going to review the Chicago Marathon. First, I'm going to tell you about why I came, what I'm going to try and achieve. Then I'm going to run the marathon, and then I'm going to look at what went right and what went wrong. I'm making this video to show what it's like to run the marathon in reality. Some things go right, some things go wrong. Chicago's a long way from Dublin. Did I leave stuff at home? The answer is yes. Should I have brought some other stuff? Yes. And this is before the start. So there'll be lots of things I'll learn. Hopefully we'll go through them in this video. Like any modern journey, it begins here at the COVID testing center. I passed that. That was the first worry. And then the next worry is US immigration. Now, the great thing about Dublin Airport is that you pre-clear American immigration in Dublin. So you go through all the standard American border controls. I think technically when you're on the tarmac in Dublin, once you've pre-cleared, you're in the United States. It's a bit like going into the embassy. And then you can take off in comfort and peace, knowing that you're pre-cleared to go into America. And when you land in America, you'll be treated as domestic arrival. Of course, you leave, it's pouring rain, and you're looking forward to bright, sunny Chicago. And you get to bright, sunny Chicago, and of course, it's pouring rain. But it was an easy, nice, pleasant trip. I flew out on a Wednesday to give me plenty of time to get in and settle. I arrived, obviously the weather was bad, but the weather was forecast to be good for the weekend. I travelled on the Wednesday. I travelled premium economy in American Airlines, which was super. Plenty of leg room, no worries about DVT. I booked the hotel on Hotels Tonight, which is a great app for kind of last minute hotel rooms. Most of the hotels in Chicago are very well located downtown, and the run is fantastic because it pretty much loops around. It finishes where it starts, unlike many marathons. And so if your hotel is near the start, it's near the finish, which mine was. I stayed in the Swiss Hotel downtown, nice view of the river. Chicago's a great city to run in. I love running down by the river. There's a lovely river walk and people run on it. And then down by the lake, you can go for long stretches, very wide, nicely separated from bicycles, wonderful view of the city. And of course, early in the morning, it's just beautiful. As well as the marathon, on the Saturday, the day before the marathon, I ran the Abbott 5K in downtown Chicago. It's a great idea. It helps with the preparations. And so really enjoyed doing that. And now I'll talk a little bit about preparations for the marathon itself. So let's see what we have in terms of eating. Okay, so you arrive over and you're in a hotel, and I didn't realize, I didn't really think it through. There's no microwave or anything. So the first thing I had to do was go out and buy myself a mug. The first morning, I decided that I'll eat my usual thing, porridge. So I got some of this in the local Walgreens across the street, and then I just mix it in a plastic cup that's in the hotel. With some water, but then I went out and I got myself a mug. Hey. So that's okay. I did remember to bring coffee. I brought my own coffee. I mean, it's not particularly important coffee. I also needed something to eat with, so I ended up buying myself a dog bowl. Classy, no. And then I got some, these are kind of nice actually. The dog bowl is pretty cheap, but this is by Joseph, and it's a cutlery set, so for essentially just making stuff, because before the marathon, it's nothing new on the day. So you think, I've got to eat the same stuff. I meant to bring some Weet-Bix breakfast cereal, but I didn't. But I got some raisins and some bananas. That was pretty good. And then for lunch, I got some whole grain bread, Dave's Killer Bread. It's actually fantastic. And some peanut butter. And then my big problem is tonight, I've got to... I want to eat, carbs tonight. So I went to Whole Foods and I got some, I rather overdid it. I'm not going to eat half of this. Some mac and cheese. I just didn't realize how much was going to come out of this. Anyway, feed an army. But I also got some vegetables just because there's only so much mac and cheese I can eat. And so these are garlic green beans. So that's the food. So let's go through some of the equipment I'm going to use tomorrow. Well, I'm going to use these, the Asics Mesospeed Skies. Ran the 5K this morning in them. They were fantastic. I mean, they're fantastic shoes. They're going to be great. So I suppose that was the first choice. The weather is going to be warm, so I'm going to wear my Soul Running singlet, which is here. So it's my Soul Runner Miners Club singlet, which I think is going to be fantastic. It's going to be warm. It'll be plenty warm enough. It also comes with some socks. These are probably thicker than I really want. It's going to be hot. It could get sweaty, but I also want some cushioning. So we'll just play that one by ear. I've never had a problem before. I'm wearing my on-running hat. It's a hat I particularly like, but it also fits on really tight. It's going to be windy tomorrow. Let's see, what else have I got? I brought some arm sleeves. Now I'll explain why I brought arm sleeves, but we'll go through it first. This is the Satisfy running shorts that I'm going to be running in. I bought these because they can take 6 gels in the side pockets. I'll be carrying 6 gels. The gels, if you've got 6 in the side pockets, they bounce around a bit, but it's got a zipped enclosure for my hotel key room and probably emergency credit card just in case. But what I really like about the back of the zip is it's got a little tab on it, so you're not fumbling. I've had that before where you're fumbling, you just can't get at stuff. That would drive me mad, so I'm not doing that. Got that. That's okay. It's got a little carabiner for keys. I don't need any keys because I'm in a hotel room. I'll have the plastic thing at the back. In fact, I could leave the plastic key card at reception, but I won't bother. Other than that, it's lightweight, very well ventilated, and it's got its own inner lining. Yeah, these are gonna be fine. I also brought these, which I probably won't use, but these are by Unsanctioned, and they are arm sleeves with 2 boxes of gel. So these will take 4 gels. It was going to be handy on a morning start to keep you warm to just get going and use up some gels, and by that stage you can take them off, but I think it's going to be very warm tomorrow. So I'm carrying 6 gels. These are the Morton's gels, 3 caffeine, 3 non-caffeine, 1 every 6K is the plan. So I'll just load them up. I might carry 2 in my hands for the first while, and then the Morton's bottle, because I'm going to use the drink mix. I'm going to use the drink mix 360. I'll have 1 tonight non-caffeinated, 1 in the morning caffeinated. It's 500 milliliters. All that Morton stuff has served me well before, so I'm not changing anything. It's going to be sunny, so I have farmer tan, so I'm quite nice and brown down here. Shoulders are all white, so I'll be spraying this all over myself tomorrow. I've also got some of this, which is I'm going to bring some tissues, just 1 or 2. I learned this morning a glasses wipe is really handy because I'm wearing a face mask in the pen and my glasses steam up. So chances are I'll bring this with me just to make sure that's okay. In the back of the Satisfy, I'll just see what else I've got. I've put some stuff in here. My Goose Island beer tab. There's a free beer at the end. These are really good. These are race dots, the little magnets for attaching your top. So I'm gonna use them. You can see I got some Chicago ones here. They're really super, really strong. It means you don't have to perforate with a safety pin. I'm gonna be. They gave out these things called dude wipes, which are, in case to use an Irish expression, you get caught short. I guess it's like a wet wipe if you need to go to the bathroom. I went out to buy some more just in case I can only find some feminine products. They'll be fine. I'll just use some of those. I found this thing which is really good. So this morning on the 5K, if you're going to do the Chicago Marathon, I fully recommend the 5K. It's a great way of learning some stuff about the route, not the route, but how to get to Grant Park. They both start in the same place. How running Chicago might a couple of the things that just the do's and don'ts. I noticed, for instance, my GPS on the watch didn't track very well. I'm not bringing the Apple Watch. I won't need it. I'll have the phone that goes in the back of the Satisfy running shorts. There's a little slot and it goes right down the back on your butt. It actually works pretty well. I'll be using the Chorus, but when I looked at the GPS, it was tracking all over the place, and it said I ran, I think, 4.7K, and actually I ran a 5K. So but there are lots. There's only kilometer marks every 5 kilometers, and you could be off a bit. I'm not familiar with miles, but this is really good. This is I got this at the Nike stand. It's the mile pace you need to go at. So this is the group I'm kind of thereabouts on. I'd like to go a bit quicker this, but who knows, if I went this fast it'd be good. But to run 3:55 every mile marker is down here. So the first one I should do in 8 minutes 58 seconds. Next one 2:17:56. Basically, this is a tattoo, and you apply it to yourself down there, and then that should give you an indication. So that's going to be a really good indication for me. Should the watch fail, or well, actually, I'll need a watch just to show these things, but just because I could get confused between the kilometers and wondering if the GPS is off. So now to eat that mac and cheese. I'm here in Millennium Park in Chicago, and the day before the off. It's Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow is the big day. The Chicago Marathon starts about 8:30 tomorrow, depending which corral you're in. 7:30 if you're in the lead group, which I'm not. I ran the 5K today, the Abbott 5K. It was a great starter, great way of getting to the park, how the corrals worked, all that sort of stuff, and just getting a feel for running in Chicago. It's going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be 28 degrees maybe by the time the race finishes. So that's going to have an effect on my time. I haven't run in that heat recently, but I'm hoping to do, the first goal is to finish. Second goal is sub 4 hours. Third goal is kind of personal best. And then fourth goal is sub 3:45. But if I get the first goal, I'll be pretty happy. What a beautiful morning in Chicago. Dawn from the hotel room. Short walk down to the start of the marathon. And as I said before, they're on the same start and finish straight. It's a nice looped course. Can't wait for the off. Chicago Marathon 2021. What went right? What went wrong? Well, pretty much everything went right, in fairness. The flight over in American Airlines was great. The hotel here, the Swiss Hotel, is great. Wonderful location close to the start and finish line. Everything in that sense went really well. The training went well. The eating, the food prep, everything like that went well. I had no GI issues. I had no issues at all. I had no blistering, nothing. Everything went smoothly. It was great to do the Abbott K beforehand, the 5K. That was a great pre-prep run. I learned a lot about the GPS and accuracy downtown, made for me making sure I got that sort of tattoo that you put on that gave me pace notes in terms of you pick a finishing time and it tells you what you've got to run past each distant marker. And that was really good because I wasn't used to miles. I was usually checking kilometers, and I knew my GPS was out on the watch pretty early on in the race, so that was very handy. It was super handy to use. I think I'd love one of those at every race. The water stations and all that, there's so many of them located, really good. So it's a really nice course because it loops around, finishes where it starts. What went wrong? Well, I knew going into the race that the second half would be tough because you're going out to the south and west where it's flat and low. There's less people. There's probably still the same amount of people, but they're less dense because the roads are very wide, the buildings are low, and the race seems to run out of a bit of atmosphere. And I certainly found the second half much tougher than the first half. I met a guy in the elevator yesterday, and he told me that his daughter had exactly the same experience. The second half was really tough. And in some ways, I looked at it and I thought I'd much prefer if it went the other way around, that you started, headed south and west, and then got back into town where the vibes were really much, much stronger. So that was something. Now, how did I do? Well, I had a few objectives. Number one was to finish. I did that. Then I wanted to finish in 4 hours. Yeah, I did that. Just. I didn't break my personal best. Essentially, I headed out really well in the first half. I was really going well, really enjoying it. I was behind a couple of people who were going at the same pace, and it was just really good. It got windy, and I got demoralized. I knew that it was going to be hard on the second half of the course. I knew that you're kind of in suburbs that have less character. They're still nice and people were cheering, but the streets are very wide and the buildings are low, and there seems to be less intensity. So I kind of ran out of steam a little bit. Having said that, I thought I'd be beaten by 10,000 people. I think I was beaten by 6,481, something like that. But I think I came 142nd in my age group. And so despite the fact that I thought I could have run a lot better, certainly it could have managed my race a bit better, so the second half would have been a bit closer to the first half. Yeah, That was pretty good. I think it's a fantastic marathon to come and run. If you come from Europe and you stay on your local time, then you're getting up early. The race starts early, so I started racing at 8 o'clock. I was done by noon. A very short walk back to the hotel. It's really good, fantastic marathon. Great experience. People are really friendly. Lots of people on the Saturday asked me how I was getting on because they'd seen I'd done a race and wondering what that race was. They had heard the marathon was on, but not the 5K. Just great experience all around. So yeah, absolutely loved the Chicago Marathon 2021. Yeah, my kind of town. I'll be back.